Creating a My Social Security account can make your life easier, but it's not always easy to set up. We'll show you how to do this coming up next. Andy Stamus here with Medicare Mindset. A My Social Security account can do a lot of things, which we summarize in our corresponding blog post. But first you need to set it up, and that's easier said than done. Here's how you do it. Here's the Social Security website at ssa.gov. To create an account, you'll need to first click the Sign In, Sign Up button at the top right, and then you'll select My Social Security Account here on the left. For those who have an account, you can enter your username and password to log in on this page. But to create an account, you'll click on Create New Account. Then you'll need to scroll down and click to agree to the terms of service, and then Next to continue. A couple quick notes before we proceed. If you have a freeze on your credit file, you won't be able to create an account until you unlock those features. Taking care of this ahead of time will save you a lot of time and hassle. As far as information you'll need to reference to create the account, be sure to have your driver's license close by. You also might need a credit card in your name to provide a second layer of protection. We'll talk about that later. And lastly, you'll need an email address to officially create the account. Okay, back to the account creation. This page is where you'll enter your contact information. It's important you enter your legal name as it's shown on your Social Security card. But for the middle name, you can just enter your middle initial. This should also be the name you have listed on your driver's license. Social Security allows you to verify your identity with your license information, so it's important that the application matches the license. More on that later. Your Social Security number is next. You can enter it with or without dashes. Either way, it will be reformatted to show the dashes. If you want to verify the number you entered, click on Show SSN to double check. Then go ahead and enter your date of birth, home address, and then confirm if the address is what's on your license. Next is your cell phone number, if you have one. This is also one of the ways they verify your identity. If you don't have a cell phone, that's okay. You can leave it blank. But we do recommend using a cell phone because it makes your account creation easier in the end. And the last item is to enter your email address twice. They need to match so you can proceed. And click Next. If there are errors, the system will let you know where to make corrections. If it's a generic error that it can't verify your information, that means Social Security probably has mismatched data on file for you, like how your name is listed in their database, or you didn't unfreeze your credit file before you started. If all is good, you'll be taken to the next page where you're given the opportunity to provide your driver's license number. It first mentions an option to take a picture of your license and then upload it. We think it's easier to choose the second option that says Input your ID information, which simply allows you to type in your license number. This usually works fine. But if you get an error, you could try to upload a picture of your license as a backup option. Worst case, you can use the old way of verifying your identity, which isn't particularly fun. Just below the two main options it says, Don't have a valid ID, answer credit history questions instead. The problem with this option is the questions can sometimes be very difficult to get right. And if you don't answer them correctly, you get locked out for 24 hours and have to try the account creation again the next day. So we would rather you verify your identity with your driver's license. It's much easier. It's also important to note that sometimes no matter what you do at this point, it won't work. And if that's the case, try again the next day. If problems persist, reach out to the main Social Security phone line at 800-772-1213 or call a local Social Security office for assistance in getting you access. If all else fails and you need to get enrolled in Medicare and/or Social Security benefits, call Social Security to set up a phone appointment. In our case, we will proceed to the next page where you choose which type of ID you're using. If you don't have an ID, you'll need to answer the credit history questions. Otherwise, choose your ID type. We'll choose driver's license, then we'll select our state and enter in the license number and click Next. Now here's where you have the option of providing one more layer of identity verification. If you go that route, entering the last 8 digits of a credit card in your name is pretty easy. But they also give you the option to select No Thanks. Any of these options are fine, including data from a Social Security benefits statement, W-2 form, or Form 1040 Schedule SE. but we'll choose the path of least resistance and select No Thanks and click Next. Then the system needs to send you an activation code. The easiest route is to receive a text message because you can finish the account creation today. If you choose the option by mail, you'll get a letter from Social Security with your activation code. In that scenario, you would request the code, wait for it to arrive by mail, and then enter the code back where we started setting up the account. Right here, you would click Enter Activation Code to finish up your account setup. But we're choosing the text message option. Usually in 1 to 2 minutes, you'll receive a text message from Social Security. It will have an 8-digit code for you to enter on this page. Then you'll click Submit Activation Code. We're almost done. It's time to set up a unique username and password, as well as password reset questions. The username needs to be 8 to 20 characters long, only letters and/or numbers. It cannot be your name or your Social Security number. Also, don't use any capital letters for the username. Just use lowercase. So we'll go ahead and enter a username. You'll notice the system shows a green check mark once you've met the 8-character limit. That's not telling you the username is available though. We won't find that out until we submit. And then we of course need a password. This needs to be 8 to 64 characters long. It must begin with a letter or number, contain both upper and lowercase letters, have at least one number, and at least one symbol. As you enter a password, the system will show the green check marks to confirm you've met the guidelines. Then you'll enter the password once again to confirm it matches. At this point, please write down your username and password. That way you can save it in your records, but also, you'll see here in a moment, you might need to make edits to it and re-enter the password if the system doesn't accept your initial responses. Now we'll add the password reset questions. There are 3 of them, so take a moment to choose your questions and answers. At the end, you'll click Next to finish. But look what happened. We have an error that the username we chose has already been used. So we'll make an adjustment to our username. Re-add our password twice, and then hit Next at the bottom again. This time, it accepted our username and the account has been created. Then click Next. On the next page, you'll need to scroll down, agree to the terms of service, and click Next to finally get into your My Social Security account. When you're in the account, you can pull up your Social Security statement, verify your earnings and work history, play around with different Social Security retirement date scenarios, and more. This particular account we created today is for someone who is not eligible for Medicare and not receiving any benefits, so the dashboard and options are different than what your account might look like. Essentially, once you start receiving Social Security and/or Medicare benefits, the dashboard looks quite different and your options are different as well. Check out our other videos that show you how to do things in this account, like accessing your benefit verification letter to show proof of Medicare or Social Security benefits, printing your Form SSA 1099, as well as to request a new Medicare card or Social Security card. So it's a bit of a process to get through, but in the end you'll benefit from the online access. Well, if you need help, contact us, and please watch our other videos for more tutorials.